Hi, I'm Mitch Gallagher from Sweetwater. This is GearFest 2021, and we have an unprecedented opportunity to learn from the Lord of the Mix. Chris Lord-Alge is here, man.
Well, thank you, Mitch. Great to be back here for GearFest 2021.
So you've got a song that you brought in, that you wrote, that you played on, that you produced with some amazing artists, and you're going to show us how you build a mix based on these tracks.
Exactly. Well, thanks so much. Yes, this is an artist I produced named Kurt Dimer, and we put this song together. We co-wrote it with another person, and we have our favorite players on it. And I'm going to show how we assemble and put it together quickly and organize a mix. I'm going to talk about it a bit, and off we go to that.
Right. Before we do, I want to be sure we give a shout out. We've got a solid state Logic Origin here. We've got some 500 series. We've got a UF8 controller in the center section.
And a UC1.
And a UC1. So special thanks to Solid State Logic at SSL for bringing Chris in and for putting this on for us. I'm going to leave you to it.
Okay. Well, thank you, Mitch. And Sweetwater, thanks for having me here for GearFest 21. So I'm going to show you a little bit about my workflow, how we build a mix, how we put it together using an Origin, CLA10s, RedNet, brand new interfaces. So we have our 32 IO to the console. Also using a UF8 and a UC1, which is a brand new plug-in controller. And of course, our fader bank, which is a very popular and very special use that we have with our Origin console. So let's talk about this. So this is just a song put together, and I'm going to show you with our Pro Tools session how we assemble it. The most important thing to me with a session is putting together and organizing it. This is the biggest problem I run into with any mix that I ever do. It's all about the organizational factor, because if you don't organize it, you can't mix it, okay? So in this case, I'm showing you how I actually collapsed it down very small so I could manage the mix, okay? Make decisions ahead of time. Okay, most of the files that I do get are very disorganized, okay? They're not really labeled well. So this is a very important thing for you to do, is to label your tracks. Find shortcuts, find ways to make the track name make sense, be simple about it, okay? So in this one, what I'm going to show you, if you're looking at my screen, which I hope you are, I have inactive tracks, which show how I assembled all these background vocals become comps, okay? They all become comp. All these keyboards become a comp track. All these guitars become comps. Now, for me, what I'm going to use in this session right now is I'm going to use the real drum kit. This is a drummer named Brian Tishy. So these drums arrive in this format, okay? I leave his names as the track names, but then I want shortcut names. Look, when you're mixing and you're looking at a DAW, you're looking at a board, you're looking at a controller, you want the shortest names possible so you can manage these things the easiest way, okay? So I will make these names 4 letters, okay? 4 letters. So kick drum is FT for me, foot, because that's what's hitting it, right? So I try to make these the shortest possible letters going. Let's look at the top of the screen. So these are the extra tracks that are not used. So I will clear those out of the way. But one thing I do is color code everything the same way. Keyboards are always yellow, guitars are always green, vocals are always blue, and drums are always red, okay? Now, this isn't a giant monster session, but this has been collapsed a few different times. So what we collapsed this time was the guitars and the vocals, okay? And we're leaving the drums wide open. And our keyboard package went from about 6 pairs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 pairs to 1 pair, okay? Our guitar packages went from what looks to be about 16 guitar tracks down to 2 pairs. Now in this session, I even have guide stereo drums, guide bass still left over from the original session. So what we do is we go to the side here and we hide inactive tracks. That's it. This way I'm only looking what I have to deal with. So these are some stems that I created, some comps that I created to make it simple for everyone. Let's hide this sidebar. But this is the most important step in mixing. The reason I've been successful as a mixer for the last 40,000 years maybe, kidding, the last 25,000 songs is I think the same way as a tape, a 24-track tape, I think about, look, I have limited room, okay, so make your decisions and make them make sense. Since I've already mixed this song, I was able to actually create stems which gave the perfect balances to some of my guitar choices. As you go in your record creation, you need to make decisions, and you need to make them all the time. With Pro Tools, you can always go back and recomp a comp, okay? But when you're mixing, you want to be able to get the energy of the song rolling. That's the most important thing. Let's talk about mouse mixing. Okay, it's really difficult to be creative when you can only move one fader at a time. That makes no sense to me. That's not mixing. That's, that's like a slow build. That's like sand, like a sandcastle or a Chinese water torture, okay? I can't do that. So imagine trying to play piano, guitar with one finger. It doesn't happen. I can't even play chopsticks with one finger. I need two. So by having this work surface, by having minimum a UF8 and a laptop, I can at least be inside the music. You can't touch the music with a mouse, okay? Cats chase these things. These aren't made for mixing music, okay? They're made for, driving a computer, not creating music. This is made for creating music. This is why I stay with this workflow my whole life. I'm able to have as many faders as I can move, because here's why. Your brain hears something you want to change. And if you can't change it, then what are you really doing? So mixing is like playing a piano. You got to be able to use your brain, your ears, and your feel. And you have to put the music in a place where you know where it is. I can look down briefly and know or memorize where the music is, where the parts are. And in this layout, believe it or not, this is my returns from the console. This is my feed to the console. So I'm able to use both to get the result I want, because I want to act like the band is sitting behind me, and this is the first time they get to listen to their song, which puts my butt in the hot seat, okay? And me impressing them shows that I'm a wizard, okay? And that's what you need to do. So I'm going to show you, by having this work surface, I'm able to get character, get vibe, and get energy out of the song. Because to me, that's the most important thing. A mix isn't about automation perfection. A mix isn't about sitting there and manicuring every compressor and EQ in your plugin library. A great mix is about less is more, okay? Another mixer who mixes some great rock, his name is Andy Wallace, okay? If you look at some of the mixes he's done, it's all about what he hears with ears, EQ, a little compression, and a bus compressor. He's a big SSL believer, as am I, and believes that the console is an instrument, okay? And this instrument bends the sound. I'm not a big believer in having a drum bus that's got a compressor, a guitar bus that's got a compressor, and so on and so forth. I believe that you have one big funnel, and how you manage that big funnel down to a great bus compressor is the secret to making the instruments work together, okay? When you compress everything separately, when it hits the bus compressor, all you get is a bucket of mush. I try to avoid the mush and keep the punch going. That's what I'm known for, right? For example, bass is just straight off the tape, piano straight off the tape, keyboard's just a comp, no compression. Now with my three vocal pairs, what I did do was, because these are going through different vocal takes, I was able to manicure these a little bit of compression, put some delay and reverb, build it in, make my decision there, okay? And the same with the backgrounds. I was able to just take the whole package like a record, okay? It doesn't have to all be separate, okay? And then, of course, guitar solo package and two pairs of the guitars that make the song work, giving me room just to have my live drums and manicure those a bit more through the console. Because the question I had earlier today is, Chris, how do you get that drum sound all the time? Your snare is always so bright, your kick is in your face, the toms, they're always so meaty and mighty. And I said, that's a tough question. No, it's not. Here's your answer. It's very simple. The way I get those drum sounds is S, S, L. Let's hear what this song sounds like. As a matter of fact, let's look at these drums. But we'll start the song. Let's start the song here and see what we get.
and death is death. No respect, there's nothing left. These are the times, newspapers are all jaded. Behind the lines, all the postcards now are faded. Burn together, feel the pain when we are all one and sustain. Burn together, fight as one. It's the only way the spell comes undone. Nothing is private, no landline.
Now let's use the console to dig up a drum sound on this. So we'll put it back into this mode so we can go right to where the drums start. Let's use the SSL for what it does so well. Let's use some of these EQs that we have on this desk and see if we can rock this puppy a little harder. Right away, the Origin turns a basic drum recording into some thunder underneath its wings and then makes the song have some attitude. So let's start that over again. Now also right here, we can use our UF8 to do some balancing, but more importantly, I can do some EQing on the way here. So let's add a combination of console and plugins. The great thing about these plugins is that the controller lets you just use your ears, and as you see on the screen, it translates your moves right there. So you can use the combination of console, UC1, plugins together, see them happening on the screen, and drive this thing into excitement beyond excitement. So let's look at the bass here for a second. We were right there. I hear the dinner bell ringing. Okay, it's still going. So the excitement never ends here. But here's what happens. The way to make a huge mix is to make your mix take up a lot less parking, okay? If you want big drums in the mix, well, spread them out a bit. But make all these decisions so these comps that you make take instruments that don't need to eat up your parking lot. Your console's like your parking lot. If you can put 32 cars in it, great. If you can put 30, even better. That's two less to worry about. And that's how I look at mixing, is that less mouths to feed, less things to manage, okay? This way I can focus on what's the most exciting parts. Well, for me, it's drums, bass, and guitar, always. But hey, without a vocal, what do we got? We have an instrumental, right? So we try to do the best there. Look, I even have a couple of faders open here, actually 4. So I'm actually running a 28 channel mix. So I'm right back to 1975 where I started on an MCI console, where that was 28 channels. Okay, so let's just hear this one more time from the top and see what I did.
Breath is breath, and death is death. No respect, there's nothing left. These are the times. Newspapers are all jaded. Behind the lines, all the postcards now are faded. Burn together, feel the pain. When we are all one, we can sustain. Burn together, fight as one. It's the only way the spell comes undone. Nothing is private, no landline in the room. Secrets are hacked, leaked. It'll all be over soon. Double down, you don't have to believe. Can't let it break you. You know the remedy I need. Make it all feel brand new. Burn together, feel the pain. When we are all one, we can sustain. Burn together, fight as one. It's the only way the spell comes undone. The spell comes undone. No table set, No family dinner tonight, nanny instead, with camera on her tight. Children raised by a villain. No, that's not right. Mom and dad drinking, blurred vision, no sign. Burn together, feel the pain. When we are all one, we can sustain. Burn together, fight as one. It's the only way the spell comes undone. Burn together, the spell comes undone.
Burn Together right there, mixed right in front of you. GearFest 2021, showing you how much fun we can have when the mix is under our control. And the Origin shows us how we can get the SSL sound. That's Chris Lord-Alge reporting to you. GearFest 2021, thanks for having me.